Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again and I have a very, very special one in the chat today with me to chat Arsenal issues and Arsenal transfer news. My man Glenn is in the studio. We're going to be discussing many things, especially Arsenal keep or sell. We have taken long without selling players, and it's really time is running out because at the beginning of the window, we were looking at moving on around 5 to 7 or 8, 10, 10 players. Now we have actually moved on Genduzi and Saliba. The rest, what actually are we doing? And of course, we shall also go through the Arsenal squad. Who do you sell? Who do you keep? Granit Xhaka has a total agreement with Roma. As well as Inter Milan have a total agreement with the club. It's with Hector Bellerin as well. So we're gonna discuss that and more. Do smash a like on the video, do subscribe to the channel, and let's get this party started. So welcome back, Glenn, to the channel, bro. You were here last week, so I'm just gonna say welcome back. How are you doing?
Thank you again for having me back again. It's so funny with Arsenal. Within 2-3 days, there's a lot to talk about already. Since we not talked about for like 3 days, there's already a lot to talk about. So happy to be here
exactly. Yeah, I'm happy and great to have you on the channel as well. This time discussing Arsenal departures. The last time we were talking here, we were discussing Arsenal incomings, and we are all excited about the transfer links. But of course, we have links of players that should leave and could be leaving, and that's where we're gonna start. Today, Fabrizio says Willian is 100% still the same situation after 2 months. Arsenal are struggling to find a buyer, but the moment we find a buyer, the moment we get in a buyer, he will leave. He will definitely leave the club. And one of those nice pictures that actually came out in the last game is the weight that he was actually putting on. But Fabrizio says it is still 100% the same position. Willian is leaving. What are your thoughts on Willian? The fact that we signed him and we were excited, and the fact that he's been absolutely disappointment. One of the biggest disappointments football has ever seen in terms of transfers.
Yeah, it's very sad how it turned out. When we signed him and we were doing all those videos about him, I was actually not very excited like when we signed Party, but it's okay. We needed some creativity in the team. We needed someone who can take free kicks, all that. And I thought Willian was going to bring leadership. I thought he was going to bring character. I thought he was going to bring experience, especially for people from Brazil, people like Martinelli could help them playing in the same position. I thought he was going to bring some maybe add some goals. We've never had goals from midfield, set pieces, corners, free kicks. I was hoping for that, but it did not work out like that. I'm actually very shocked that it turned out that bad. If anyone predicted Willian was going to be that bad at Arsenal, fair play to you, because I couldn't believe how bad it turned out to be. So for me right now, I don't understand why he's still at Arsenal, but I also understand. Looking at someone putting on that kind of weight, which team will sign? Because if teams, because of the money he's asking for, right?
I mean, it's a disgrace for a footballer, and even if you don't care about the club, you've got to care for your career. Try to show that you're a footballer, you're a professional. You've been on the scene for 20 good years now, playing professional football. You can't look like that.
Yeah, he was in Dubai, he was in US, so he enjoyed his holiday. So I always followed him going to Dubai and everything, so he really enjoyed himself. And of course, I'm happy for him. He gained some weight, as I said. Like, obviously, being at Arsenal, you could tell that he was not happy at Arsenal last season. You could tell that. You can also tell that he switched off his Instagram comments, Twitter comments. You can tell that he didn't want anything to do with the fans and anything. So I'm happy for him. He put on weight, but not as a football player. You cannot do that. And that makes it even harder for us to sell him. Which team will buy him? Because of the money he's also asking for, there's no team that will buy him. I heard he's asking for too much money from Inter Miami and they won't get him. So we are basically stuck with him. It's another Ozil situation. We are basically stuck with him. It's either we cancel his contract and just get rid of him, or we hope some team comes for him. Whether it's 2 million, we just get rid of him. Even if they give us 1 million, get rid of him immediately. I didn't want it to get to this point of we are signing new players and the old players are still there. Because right now Tavares is training with Kolasinac. He's getting a bit of the Kolasinac mentality in him. If Lokonga comes in, he's training with Willian for a couple of training sessions. He's already getting that Willian effect in him. I didn't want that. I wanted these players gone very early and then get the players in soon. So for me, Willian should go. He shouldn't be staying at Arsenal at all. Even if I wanted him to stay, the fans don't like him, and for him, it doesn't look like he likes Arsenal. So it's just better for everyone for him to get going soon.
Yeah, definitely. And still talking about players that are confirmed as departures is Granit Xhaka. Xhaka has a total agreement with Roma to join them. Total agreement has been confirmed, but there is no agreement between the clubs on the price. Now, what is happening at the moment is Roma are still failing and are still refusing to pay the 20 million euros, right? That Arsenal is asking for. Arsenal is still insisting that Roma have to pay above 18 million euros, and they are valuing at the player at around 20 million euros. Xhaka, another one. We'll talk about them later. But what do you think about Xhaka and the situation? Probably could it be that we're asking for too much in Granit Xhaka, or that is the right price, 20 million euros?
That's around 18 million pounds. I think that's fair enough. He's not 30 yet. He's not 30 years of age yet. He still has a good 6-year contract to go with one team. He has a very good 6-year contract to be signed with the one team, and he can do them a job for at least 5 years there. So I think 80 million is around the price. As I said last time, we are always bullied in the transfer market. We can't let that happen again. Ramsey went for free, Ozil went for free, Sanchez went for free, and teams like Liverpool sold their youngster to Sheffield. I don't remember his name. The youngster to Sheffield. They sold him for like 5 million.
Brewster. Yeah, Brewster, yeah.
They sold him for, I think, 25 million pounds. Brewster, someone I'd never seen play before, 25 million pounds. So how can they get 25 million pounds for such a player? How can Chelsea right now be getting almost 20 million for Batshuayi and 20 million for Bakayoko, and we can't get 80 million for Xhaka? Are you telling me Bakayoko has proven himself to be a way better player than Xhaka? I don't think so. So we can't accept to be bullied in the transfer market. Ask for it. Ask for that money and let them pay. If they don't want to, go to another team.
Yeah, exactly. So another one is Hector Bellrin to Inter Milan. How lucky we are that someone wants Hector Bellrin. There's again a total agreement between the two sides. That is Inter Milan and Hector Bellrin. A 4-year contract, and Hector will be earning around 3.5 million per year annually. What do you think about Hector Bellrin? How much is he? In your opinion, because again, there's a big problem there. Inter Milan want to take him out on a loan deal. Arsenal don't want that. It's a disgrace that Inter have collected 70 million and they want to replace the player with, on a free deal. It's a disgrace. How much would you go for Hector Bellrin?
I'd say maybe 15 million. That is from his performances, but he has a number of years still to go. I don't know how long he has on his contract. If it's more than 2 years, I'd say 18 million as well. If it's less than 2, to be honest, I'd take even 13 or 14. I'd take it immediately because he's one of those players who's been here for too long.
Yeah.
So it's actually almost 10 years since he's joined us. He's very young, but it's almost 10 years since he joined us. So for me, I'd take about 50 million for him. I know, as I said, other teams can get 25 million for such a player. He's young. If he moves to a Spanish team or an Italian team, obviously he didn't work out for him at Arsenal recently, but he could go to Inter Milan and it could be very good, like the way Ashley Young or Victor Moses went to Inter Milan and they turned out very good for them. Lukaku as well. So maybe he could go there and could have a very good functioning relationship with the players there, and it could work out for him. So for me, I'd say 15 million, but I'd add something to the contract, maybe a sell-on clause. If they sell him, we get something.
Yeah, right now, guys, the party has started. We're gonna look at all the Arsenal squad. We're gonna look at 25 players, and what you're gonna do in the chat is decide whether we sell them. We talk about a player. We decide whether we sell him or not. That is it. We're gonna look about two goalkeepers in this scenario. Ban Leno. A lot of rumors. Of course, the player as well coming out to say, "I would love to go. I would love to go, yeah, and I would love to stay." I mean, it's undecided. But there have been so many rumors with Ban Leno, and at first I thought this could be orchestrated from his, from the side of the agent trying to trying to probably negotiate a new deal, because he's seeing Arsenal not really caring about the new contract of the player. But there have been so many rumors, even Leno himself coming out and saying, "I'll be open to leaving the club, and I'll be open to staying, at the club." Do you believe there are any truths in the rumors that maybe Arsenal could lose Ban Leno this summer?
I was believing it at the end of the season. At the end of the season, there was rumors that he was going to leave. I was starting to believe it. Maybe you want to change something, but I don't think there are that many goalkeepers to sign out there. Plus, as I always say, I never thought Leno was our biggest problem. We have so many other problems that now, if you say Leno, what are we trying to get? A goalkeeper and a backup goalkeeper, two goalkeepers in 1 month. We have a game on August 13th. I don't think so. So, Leno is a good shot stopper. Yes, he has a few mistakes. That is fine. If you check the mistakes that have happened the last 2 years, I think De Gea, Pickford are on top of Leno. So that is okay. I think goalkeepers make mistakes, but I think if you try to compare the goods and the bads, you'd find maybe 7 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10 is good, and then 2.5 is bad. And we can try and improve the 2.5 because, again, he still has a good 6-7 years to go. Goalkeepers can play until 40, as we saw it before, so he still has some time to go. For me, I'd keep him and I'd have him as the first choice goalkeeper. Unless you're getting someone very good like a Roma, if you're to get him, then Leno becomes backup. But for now, I don't think Leno is our biggest problem. And if you say Leno, we need to start looking for two goalkeepers. So I don't think so. So Leno for me is a keep, definitely.
So guys in the chat, do you sell Leno? Do you keep him? Let me know down in the chat. Do you sell Leno or do you keep him? Glenn, Leno, keep or sell?
Keep, definitely.
Keep. I'm going with keep as well. I think a backed Ban Leno, and like Glenn has said, I don't think he has always been our biggest problem. I don't think. Yes, he has had a couple of weak hands somewhere. He has had a couple of bad passes somewhere that have cost us. But I think overall, he's still a decent goalkeeper. I would keep him. Tayden says I would keep Leno. And Lilo says I would keep him as well. I'm looking at Phrase saying I would keep him as well. Humphrey says I would keep him. Yosam says I would keep him as well. Right, Red Lad. So I think Leno is a keep. Leno is a keep.
Just imagine, just 1 point. Just imagine July 2020. You are talking about Leno and Martinez. We have two good goalkeepers, and then less than 1 year later, we're talking about
you have none of them. You have none of them.
Selling two of them within less than a year. Still in July. That would be a keep, definitely.
Just imagine 1 year later, you have Arthur Okwonko, Runason, and Aaron Ramsdale.
That is Arsenal. That is definitely Arsenal. So keep Leno.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody in the chat, let me know: do you keep Leno? Do you sell him? Runason has been our backup goalkeeper. I think this one is a little bit prudent, not prudent but transparent actually. We brought him for almost 1.5 or less than 1.5 million pounds as a backup goalkeeper, recommended by our goalkeeping coach. Recommended by our goalkeeper coach. I would sack him, honestly. If you give me such a ridiculous recommendation, you're not good enough. You're absolutely not good enough. I would sack you. So, Runason, I'm not even going to say much. We can't. The guy is 25, but he looks 18. Lack of experience. He was second choice goalkeeper at Dion, and you come in as second choice goalkeeper at Arsenal. Ridiculous business from Arsenal. Keep or sell. Runason, keep or sell, guys, in the chat. Runason, keep or sell. Glenn, keep or sell.
I'm glad you brought up the goalkeeping coach thing, because he only brought him because they are friends. It wasn't just from the blog. They are friends. They actually brought in the goalkeeper. He recommended the goalkeeper because they are friends and he knows him. So that is not. And you pay 1 million. You get what you pay for. It's simple as that.
Exactly.
If you pay for a $1,000 headphone and I pay for a $5 headphone, I will get what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And 1 million. Liverpool are signing goalkeepers for 80 million. I know that first choice goalkeeper. and you're signing a goalkeeper for 1 million. That is 79 million difference. Obviously, you want to expand that game against City and also another game against Dundalk. Nah, I'm shocked that they're talking about loaning him. Why are you loaning him for what? You want to bring him back? Sell him, get that 1 million back and just sell him, because he doesn't even play for Iceland. No disrespect to Iceland, but he doesn't even play for Iceland. So
Yeah.
nah, for me, it's a definite sell immediately this week.
Desmond says no. Sell Runason this according to Humphrey. Matty says Leno out. Leno out is not serious compared to Mendy. Otoni says sell to raise cash. George says sell Runason. That's according to Ndovu. And then Jack says, but Matrayan was best to fit with Leno. Right, guys, we've moved on from the goalkeepers. Good luck to Arsenal in the transfer window if they get in good business. Let's move to the right backs. We have three of them. Three or four? Three. Hexa Bellrin, Hekebe, wanted by Inter Milan. Guys, Inter Milan want Hector Bellerin, and Inter Milan want the league. They look at him as the possible replacement of Ashraf Hakimi. I mean, I'm trying to build his profile, but I don't think I can make him any more attractive. In my opinion, I would sell him, but the money matters. 15 million and above. That is, I think, we need to be cautious around there. So, Glenn, how disappointed or how appeased are you with my man? With my man Hector Bellerin, and how much would you sell him for?
Now I'll tell you the truth first up. I was one of those people that wanted Bellerin to stay last season. I was in the Bellerin camp and loan out Niles and keep Bellerin last season. I always feel like the injuries did affect him. That's true. But I always felt like I'd give him a chance. But after last season, you cannot have 7 foul throws within 3 months. 7 foul throws, like in the big games as well. I think Liverpool, City, that is not allowed. And the other thing I don't like about him, you see what Tierney does on the other wing. He gets the ball and he runs past the player. Bellerin should be having pace. He should be having the pace to run past the player. But what he does always is he cuts in. He cuts in and passes the ball to Partey. Cuts in and passes the ball to Sabias. There's no threat at all. The left backs are always very comfortable and they're up against Bellerin. He doesn't score. Yes, he scored, I think, 1 goal at he doesn't score. The assists, it's here and there, not always. Defensively, position-wise, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Again, last season, he picked up the most yellow cards for Arsenal, and I think he had the second most yellow cards in the whole Premier League. I think it was something like 9 or 10. That is because you're out of position, you prefer to foul, you're lazy getting back when you have the pace. That cannot be allowed. So for me, Bellerin this season step.
Yeah, guys, let me know what you do with Hector Bellerin. Dovu says Hector, keep Hector. Frey says Bellerin out, right? Bellerin out. Bongo says, my man Bongo, bring up in the chat. He says, sell Hector and make Niles number 2. We'll get to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Number 2, in that hierarchy is Cedric. When Cedric signed in was it last January? When he signed on the permanent, fire deal. I don't know how I felt. I don't know what my reaction was, but he's a versatile player. He's played on a couple of occasions where he's played on the left full-back wing and then on the right full-back wing. But I just don't believe he's good enough, honestly. I don't think he's good enough. And I wouldn't keep him. If there is an opportunity to let him go, I would let him go. Now that I have Nuno Tavares, I have Chambers, I'll bring in a new right back to replace Bellerin, and I would say Cedric. Honestly, those are my opinions, not anyone's. Guys, let me know about Cedric. What do you think about Cedric? Glenn, Cedric. I mean, he's not been so bad. His performances have not been so bad, but he's not, for me, he's not at that level.
Yeah, if you compare the other right backs that are playing in the Premier League, Lamptey, Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, he cannot be our main right back. And I know people always talk about Xhaka. Here's the other thing people always don't know about that list. If you check the most Premier League mistakes, the players who have committed the most mistakes leading to goals in the Premier League the last 5 years, Xhaka is in the top 3 and Cedric is in the top 3 as well. He has those mistakes. Not all of them are at Arsenal. Some of them are at Southampton, and that makes
Yeah.
you think. We actually signed a player who was in the top two of committing the most mistakes in the Premier League, and we brought him to the club. So right now in the top three, there are two Arsenal players who've made the most mistakes. The whole Premier League, West Brom, West Ham, all the teams, Middlesbrough, all the teams that have been there in the last 5 years, Arsenal have two players. So Cedric wasn't bad that season. I agree with you. Like against Southampton when he played on the left, he was very good. I remember against Watford in the previous season, in the end of the season, he was very good as well. I think he's better than Bellrin in terms of crosses and set pieces and stuff like that in terms of creativity. Defensively, a bit shaky as well, as we saw against Aston Villa. He cost us the goal that time. So,
Yeah.
what I'd do, I wouldn't have him as the main guy at right back, but I'd sell Bellrin and maybe keep Cedric on the bench, not as a main player on the bench, just because he can play on the left and on the right. We probably need that because Tavares, just like Tierney, Tavares picked up a couple of injuries last season, so there could be a position there like left back. We don't have both players, and Xhaka's left, so we might not have anyone playing that position. So Cedric on the bench, keep him, but on the bench.
Keep Cedric on the bench. Please do smash a like on the video, guys. Let's get them to 100 likes. That should be our main target, and you know that we always do that on this channel. 100 likes is a must. So I would say to Cedric, Glenn says he would keep him on the bench. What are your thoughts in the chat, people? What are your thoughts about Cedric? For me, he's not good enough. He's not the player I want at Arsenal. And that's just it. Right. Let's get to Callum Chambers. Chambers last season, when the season was ending, he came out and he was a little bit different from the two right backs that we were used to all season. Chambers was a little bit good going forward. He brought in a couple of crosses against West Ham, and I think he was really decent. We should say in that game, 3-3, if you still remember. And then because he's a centre back, he's a little bit solid than Bellrin and Cedric, but he's not that impressive for me. I would keep him as my backup to my first choice. For example, if I brought in Dumfries or Lamptey or Max Aarons, I would have Callum Chambers as my backup. So I would keep Callum Chambers. Honestly, he's one of those people who have really turned around in my head. Last season, I would sell him. Last summer, I would sell him without a question. But this summer, I would keep him as my backup right back at Arsenal. What do you think about him, Glenn? Keep or sell?
Chambers has been at Arsenal since 2014, if I'm not wrong. That is almost 8 years.
Yeah.
He's taken 7 years to impress you. I know. Last season, I was very surprised at how much he helped us. He came on again. I think his first game was against Burnley away. He did very well against West Ham. I couldn't believe that was Chambers. He has better crossing ability than Bellrin, surprisingly. But I know, as Humphrey says in the chat, he's homegrown. That also helps. I think we need a number of players that are homegrown from England. But his injury record scares me. We can keep him.
He never plays football.
For 1 year again. He never plays. He's out for 6 months, 1 year. I know he can play very many positions, right, center, central midfield, but the injury record scares me. Can we get a lot from him next season, like a good 25 games? I doubt. I really doubt. So he's played well last season. Last season I said sell him, and I'm sorry, if you can get 10 million for him right now, I'd actually sell because his injury record scares me.
Yeah, I just want to know, has Chambers ever played a season where he's the main man in any position at Arsenal?
I don't think so. And Ogwete George says Chambers is good, give him a chance. He's been here since 2014, 8 years, almost 8 years. We can't. How long do we have to give him a chance? That's why I've also changed my mind on Bellrin, because you cannot give these players that many chances. That's what we've been doing with El Neni. That's what we've been doing with Mustafi, giving them chances. 7 years is too long. He played well for Fulham before they got relegated on loan, and then he came back and then he disappeared for all 6 months again. Those injuries are scary. We have too many injury-prone players, and I'm trying to get rid of most of them. So I understand why you guys would say keep Silvano, you're somewhere. I understand why all of you would say keep. I understand why Cossy would say keep, but his injury record scares me, so I'd sell him.
All right. Let's see what you people are saying in the chat. Frey says keep Chambers as a backup option. Humphrey says I would definitely keep Chambers, homegrown talent, and there is an improvement, right? Keep Chambers since he's English. George says Chambers is good. Let's give him a chance, right? My man Yosam says keep because he's a good player and very energetic. Chambers go. This is Osman. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Chambers can still play. This according to Emmanuel. Big up all the people that are commenting in the chat. Like I said, I'll be able to fit in your comments and then we continue with the discussion. Let us talk about Ainsley as a right back. I don't believe he's a good midfielder. Ainsley, you asked me a question last season. What is Ainsley Mattanaus good at? And when I asked myself the same question, I didn't say it. I really didn't say it. And I've been speaking about it today in the morning. And I was like, this guy has failed to nail down one position where he can develop himself and time is running out on him. He's not a Xhaka, he's not a 7, he's not a Martinelli, he's not an 11, he's not a Willock, he's not a midfielder. The guy is just confused. I think, of course, you've got to blame the people who saw the versatility in him and did guide him. He wants to play as a midfielder. There's no way you're going to play as a midfielder with that disgusting performance at Arsenal. Sorry, you're not that level. So, Ainsley, what are your thoughts? I probably, in my opinion, if the right bid comes in for Ainsley, I'm going to sell him and stop all this debate. Bring in Ainsley. Should have played Ainsley. Stop all the debates. I would sell him for the right money. Around 15 to 20 million euros. Get him out and that problem is done.
So, Niles, I actually remembered asking you that question. Thank you for bringing that up. That was almost a season ago.
Yeah.
What is Niles' favorite position? Here's why I always get stressed out and fed up with Niles and Nketiah especially. Those guys who are here have been here for almost 5 years. Have you ever watched? Can you remember 5 games? Just 5 games that you can tell me that Niles was amazing. These 5 games, name for me. Tell me Liverpool away. I remember that away game where he scored a goal. Good. Both games, maybe 2 away games in the Carabao Cup and in the league against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then which other teams will you tell me? Southampton, no game that he was good. Newcastle, was he good against a Middlesbrough somewhere? I don't remember. You cannot name for me Niles 5 games that Niles played very well. If I ask you the same question about Xhaka right now, you will tell me even 15 games. You will tell me England against this team, he was very good. You can tell me Arsenal against Chelsea was good. Smith Rowe can tell me Arsenal against Chelsea was brilliant.
Was good,
Martinelli can tell me Chelsea last season, he was good. This game, he was good. You can name for me 5 players. I always feel like Nketiah and Niles became too comfortable. I feel like they came into the first team and became too comfortable. Like, you know what, we've made it. We're Arsenal's first team, we've made it. Xhaka and Martinelli and Smith Rowe came after them and then overtaken them. Xhaka came like 4 years after these guys and he's overtaken them by 200%. He's ahead of them by like 200%. And these guys are older than him and they came in earlier than him. West Brom last season, did he really impress that much like Willock did at Newcastle? I don't think so. I don't think any West Brom fans will remember Niles. I think Newcastle will remember Willock. I don't think West Brom will remember Niles. So for me, just like you did, I was surprised last season. I would have sold him last season. I was so committed to keeping Bellrin and selling Niles last season. 25 million from Wolves and we rejected it.
Yeah.
I take that money definitely. For me, I think he's become too comfortable at Arsenal and you cannot name for me 5 games he played well and he's been here for 5 seasons. So,
yeah. And that opportunity is never coming back. Really never. Frey says Niles out, he doesn't know his best position. Cossy, Ainsley is a CM, not a tight, not a right back. Not a right back. He's been mismanaged and not given a chance to develop as a central midfielder. Stop with all this right back talk. This according to Nail.
Let me just say something from that. So Neil says central midfield. Now, if you check his stats, if you check Niles' stats when he played in midfield, I think he had like a 25% passing accuracy. You cannot have a 25% passing accuracy in midfield. You'll be killing your team. 25% in midfield, you'll be killing Arsenal. He'll take us from 8th to 17th probably. You cannot have that kind of passing accuracy in midfield. Your positioning has to be very spot on. Can he keep his position? We saw him playing against Albanian in that position. We'll maybe see him playing in that position against Rangers next to Party in the weekend. But that is a very hard position. Has he been mismanaged by 4 different managers? Wenger, Arteta, Ljungberg, Emery, has he been mismanaged by 4 different managers? I don't know. Central midfield, you have to be very good in that position. The Rodri's playing in that position, the Kantes, the Jorginhos. Can he give you that? Niles doesn't score goals. Niles doesn't create chances. Niles doesn't have good long balls.
You have players like Pedri in that area that have almost close to 100% passing accuracy, even under pressure.
Yeah, you cannot. You have to be at least good in 5 things in that position, and like I have named for you, like 5 bad attributes is shown in that position. So. No.
Right. Let me play devil's advocate. I would sell Chiantiani and bring in Leonardo Spinazzola. Devil's advocate, honestly.
I think that's time for me to leave this channel. Thank you for having me. Nice to be sold.
Guys, would you sell Chiantiani for Leonardo Spinazzola? That's the question. Just say keep or sell. Would you keep Chiantiani if you had a chance to sign Spinazzola? By the way, Glenn, Spinazzola is another big talent. Big talent. He's 27, 28, I think, but he's so good. He was so good in the Euros.
How long will that injury keep him out for?
I don't know. Probably 6 months or more than that.
Our hospital at Arsenal is full already. We have no more hospital beds at Arsenal. We cannot add more injured players. So,
yeah. But I think if Arsenal is a serious team, then Kiani is untouchable, isn't it?
Oh, your team is way better than you. My favorite Arsenal player, as I always say right now.
Yeah.
The way he takes on players, the leadership. He's back in training right now when he could be enjoying his holiday. He literally told his family goodbye. I need to go back. I need to play against Rangers over the weekend. Very good mentality. Does not brag about anything. You'll never see Tini with big headphones, £1,000 headphones or £10,000 headphones with a phone or dancing around. He's there to play the game. Even if you give me 70 million, that's 70 million Banigo is talking about. If that 70 million was coming to my account, I still wouldn't sell Tini. Still not. Even if it was coming to my account.
Yeah. I think it would be a very unprecedented mistake if Arsenal made that mistake. It would be unprecedented. Then would you, if probably if you don't have Nuno Tavares, would you keep Sid Kolasinac as backup?
I'd rather pretend, man. Even if you didn't have Tierney as well, I wouldn't keep Kolasinac. Now, I was trying to watch him the other day against Sydney, and I was trying to see, let's see, maybe something has changed. Maybe 6 months away, maybe something has changed. Because he's not yet 30; he still has a couple of years to go.
Yeah.
He likes going forward very, very well. I saw him doing that like 2 or 3 times against Sydney, and I was like, he doesn't mess around when it comes to crossing. He just puts the ball in. He doesn't take time. That's good. But there's a time Albanian. I was watching your watch along, and there's a time I think they pass and hits the post, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
There's a time in the first half it was Kolasinac who was out of position. Totally out of position. The ball was slipped through him, and they were in behind him because he doesn't know how to position himself. As well, he always gets injuries sometimes. I think the last minute he picked up. I don't even know if I'm going to talk more about
Kolasinac. You know what's funny? What is so funny with Sid Kolasinac is one of those defenders that do not have awareness. Absolutely so poor when it comes to awareness. Absolutely so lack of awareness. He doesn't have it. It's one of the attributes he doesn't have. Never in his life.
So I don't think he's a back 4 player. I don't think he's a back 4 player. I think he's a back 5
exactly.
Player.
Yeah, he's a back 5. Yeah. So I think that one is also undisputed. He needs to go. Sid Kolasinac, guys, would you keep or sell? Just type keep or sell, and then I'll know what your opinions.
I will personally block anyone who says keep. I'll personally block anyone who says keep.
Pablo Mari, shot number 22. The experience is there. Injury prone a little bit, but very calm player. Most of the performances I've seen him, and most of the games I've seen, is very calm and really has that kind of feel that he's a good centre back. He's a formidable centre back. However much I think Gabriel comes before him in pecking order. Pablo Mari, if you probably had the right offer, probably 25 million euros, 30 million euros, would you sell him?
No, I'd keep Pablo Mari. I'd keep Pablo Mari. Left-footed player. Um, I know we always talk about this one can play with this one, this one can't play with this one. I think he actually looked very good in holding. I think he played a few games very well in the Europa League as well. A couple of games where he scored. Before his injury last season, before the virus came and everything was postponed, he played against I think Portsmouth, I think West Ham, and he played very well last year around March. So his injury obviously affected him a bit. I think he's now back and ready and fit. So let's give him this full season and see how he does. Definitely keep as a backup.
Yeah, absolutely. I would keep him. I would keep him. I would keep Pablo Mari. There's no question about that. Just type in the chat, keep Mari or sell Mari. Keep Mari or sell Mari. Both of us would keep him on the show. And of course, do smash the like button, people. We should get to 100 likes on the show. That really means a lot. 100 likes live on the show. 100%. Let's get to 100 likes. William says 100% keep Mari. Right. And then Glenn says 100% keep Murray. Emma says keep Murray 100%. Ateta loves Murray. He can't give him away. This is a good phrase. Kolasinac, let him go. Absolutely. Right. And of course, the partner or the challenger to Pablo Murray is Gabriel Magalhaes. Just coming. Very, very good player. And I think he has a big future. He's becoming underrated. He's becoming underrated, but I think he's a very, very good, very good talent. He's young. He's gonna make the mistakes, guys. He's never gonna give you 100% good games. He is young. He's learning a lot, a lot to learn. 50 million, 60 million, bro. We bought him at around 22, 27 million euros. 60 million. Would you take him? Would you take it from Madrid? They are struggling to find a centre back.
60 million at take. We need money. We need money badly. 60 million at take. But let's forget about the money first.
Yeah.
I think he was very good last season. He got, I think, player of the month for Arsenal, 3 consecutive months.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, September, October, November. A new player coming from France. Let's be honest. For me, I thought Saliba was going to be the one playing last season, but Gabriel came from nowhere and he came into the team and sorted us out in the first few games. I know he picked up an injury, as you said. I remember even against Fulham in the first game, within the first 2 minutes, he had made a mistake. The game you mentioned as well, Southampton, with the red card. He can make mistakes here, and I think he's got an own goal in the FA Cup as well, and he went out. But I always say, Chelsea away, we hadn't won since 2011, and we won after 10 years. Man United away, since 2006, we hadn't won, 15 years. And I think Gabriel and Partey are the 2 reasons why we actually managed to win those games away from home. Mentality, strong mentality. There's a tackle Gabriel put on Matic at Old Trafford, I'll never forget. Mentality. There's also another one he put on, I think, Fernandes or Rashford, where United fans were screaming for a red card. Strong mentality from Gabriel. So for me, it's one of the reasons why we've been winning those big games recently. He did well first season. I'd have given him probably a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Definitely keep. I hope his injury is not too serious. So let's say that's for him, keep.
Yeah, Humphrey says he is untouchable, like untouchable. That's it. Please, how can we understand our club with fake news and transfers? This is according to Adam. No, you could really check out other channels, or you could watch the Arsenal website. That's a great option. They do have a big website and a big YouTube channel, right? Or please would even sell Gabriel and keep Murray if it was not for injury prone, keep him. This is according to Ronald. Right. So let's move on to the central right back position. Rob Holding is the man. Rob Holding is the man around there. And I mean, it's surprising that he's played so many games with his quality. But he's played so many games. So Rob Holding, would you actually keep him or sell him?
I think we need 4 centre backs. So we have Gabriel, Pablo Mari on that side, and we have, let's say, Ben White. and someone else on that other side. So
Yeah.
I think since Luis has gone, we have to keep Holding. Now, Holding, there's a few games, like against Aston Villa away from home and Aston Villa at home. Yeah, Aston Villa, both games, he was absolutely terrible. Like, I remember when Grealish was just making him dance around the pitch. I think Watkins dribbled past him and turned him a few times in that game. He looks very shaky, but I think getting rid of Bellrin, getting rid of Xhaka, I think Holding are the like few players that we have remaining in terms of like Arsenal players who've been here for long. I don't think Holding is a disaster like Mustafi. I don't think Holding is a disaster like Mustafi or Kolasinac. I don't think he's that much of a disaster. He has a few good games. Obviously, start looking at Sterling out jumping him and you get worried. That's why he shouldn't be playing against Man City. He can play for us in the Carabao Cup, he can play for us in the FA Cup, but not against Man City in the league. So I would keep Holding because I don't think we have that many centre backs. I'd have him as a backup. With Pablo Mario on the bench, start Gabriel and Ben White, Holding will come from the bench. And I think against a Blackpool in the Carabao Cup, he can do the job. So I'd keep Holding. At least for one more season, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, for the new right-footed centre back that comes in, he will need a backup. And I think I would keep Rob Holding as a backup, but not as a starter next season. I wouldn't keep Rob Holding as a starter next season. Honestly, thoughts. I don't keep Rob Holding as a starter. I keep him as a backup. Right. Let's move to that midfield area where we don't have so many players. I mean, gone are the days when Arsenal had almost 15, 16 midfielders, and we could just pick any of our choices, but it's difficult. I'll start with Lucas Torreira. Lucas Torreira, it looks like the language is disturbing him. The climate, the culture in England is disturbing him. But the latest reports are saying he's still assessing his options, whether to stay at the club or actually move on to Italy, where he has more and more options and offers. So, personally, Lucas Torreira, for the benefit of his good, as a player, I would let him go to Italy, settle there, and play his football. He has a career to protect. If you ask me, if there is a manager that believes in him at Arsenal, I would keep him as a squad player. Torreira, keep or sell?
Do you have any idea how much he is getting per week?
Not really.
I'm not sure. If it's anything above 75, it's there. Even without that, I think it's definitely style. Even his size, I think his size is hurtful to us. I know Kante is not that big as well, but his size is too small. When you're playing against Bissouma, you used to play against Yaya Toure in that position. Those players who play in that position are big. They are big. So I think that also kind of like his functioning in terms of Premier League in midfield, he wasn't that good, unfortunately. So I remember against Aston Villa again. Aston Villa have really hurt us the last 2 years. This Aston Villa team, we need to get them revenge next season. The last season when Aston Villa was about to get relegated, and we survived in the last day. I remember we played Aston Villa and they beat us 1-0 and we actually helped them survive. That game, he was terrible. He could not match up to Douglas Luiz and I think whoever else was playing that position. They were too strong for him. Maybe because he's small, yes, he's physical, he's rugged and everything, but those players are way too strong for him. And in that position, unless he's playing with two other players in Partey and Bissouma plus him, that's how he can survive. But just depending on him in that position, I don't think so. Plus, he doesn't want to be here. I don't want players to want to be here. So the language as well, just get rid of him, unfortunately. So I think it's better. Let's remember the Tottenham goal. Let's remember the goals against Liverpool. I wouldn't hate him. I don't hate Torreira like the way we would hate Van Persie or any of those players, the likes of Sanchez. But I will remember him as an Arsenal player. I won't hate him, but goodbye. Thanks for the couple of seasons. But
Joe Willock, another one, had a very successful loan spell at Newcastle. And finally, reports have it that Newcastle are confident of agreeing and being very close to getting him on another loan deal. Joe Willock is another player that doesn't appeal to me, just like Edin Ketia. However much he plays well, he doesn't appeal to me. He's got nothing that attracts me as a player. So many people like him, and we've had a big debate on this channel. Would you keep him? Would you sell him? For me, even below 30 million euros that Arsenal is asking for, around 25, I would cash in on him. Honestly, I would cash in on him. I don't see him as a big game player. I don't see him as a big team player. But many people think other ways. What do you think? Joe Willock, maybe is he your superstar? Is he your future superstar? Would you keep him? Would you sell him?
I think it's crazy for them to talk about love. There's only two options with Willock, and it's what we're talking about in this week. Keep Willock or sell him for 25 million pounds. It's either one of the two. You cannot float him again because he can go back to Newcastle and have a terrible season. And he's back at Arsenal and you can only sell him for 5 million. So for Willock, the issue I usually had with him, two issues. His decision making was bad. At Arsenal, his decision making was terrible. When he gets in front of the goal, he doesn't know whether to shoot, whether to pass, whether to cross the ball. I remember against Chelsea in Baku when he lost 4-1 in the Europa League final. There's a chance Willock got in the last 10 minutes to make it 4-2, and his decision making was terrible. Another time against Bournemouth, he had Lacazette right next to him to pass the ball, and he decided to shoot the ball way off target. Yes, he did well at Newcastle, but another thing that I don't like about him is his upper body strength. I think he's a bit weak as well. I think he needs some upper body strength, a bit of gym in him. I think he needs to hit a bit of gym to make himself a bit stronger. Because as much as we thought some people used to like Ramsey, some people didn't used to like Ramsey, they used to get into the box. He knew when to get into the box. He knew when to go ahead. He knew when to go with the right foot and left foot. He knew when to shoot outside the box. Willock has that. But again, just like Niles, can you mention for me 5 to 10 games at Arsenal where Willock really impressed you? I don't think so. But since he played very well at Newcastle last season, I think he scored 9 goals or something, I'd keep him. I'd keep him for, if it's anything less than 20 million, I'd keep him. But forgetting about the money, I'd keep him. Let's see how he does at least until January.
Okay. Another hard one that is reportedly in talks to extend his contract is Mohamed El Neni. Now, Mohamed El Neni scores bangers, and I know that's what you're gonna tell me. He scores bangers, but I'm not interested in his bangers. I'm more interested in the passes, the passing accuracy, the agility, the speed at which you're passing, and your visibility in that midfield. That's what I want. Do you have the vibe? He doesn't have it. I mean, for El Neni, if his contract runs down, I let him go on free. If anyone is interested, in him, negotiate the right price and let him go. I don't have anything around that. But the only problem I have with El Neni is he's one of those very patient, professional squad players. He's always gonna be there. He's always gonna be there. Professional, very, very professional as a squad player. So, maybe you would think otherwise on him, but the right offer comes in, I would cash in on him. Honestly, I would cash in on him. Probably bring in Miguel Aziz in his, as a backup. What do you think about El Neni?
I echo what you said. I really like him because you never hear El Neni did this in training. He said that here, he did this on Instagram. You never hear all that stuff. He's humble, he's calm, he plays whenever he's needed to. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 90 minutes in 2 games in 3 days, he will play for you. He's a nice guy. But you cannot keep players because they're nice. Cossy is a very nice guy, but he doesn't play for Arsenal. I'm sure Fraser and Agustin in the chat are very nice people, but they don't play for Arsenal. If you have to keep players at Arsenal because they're nice, I don't think it can work out fast. But it's a good backup player. We only have Partey midfield right now in him. We don't have anyone else. Unless we could get some, I think we already have Lokonga now as a backup. If something like a 5 million offer comes in for him, I'd get rid of him. I think he's been at Arsenal for way too long.
Look, that's one of the things I don't believe. That when did we last play Barcelona? This guy was at Arsenal.
I think I was actually. I don't think I was actually even in high school when Lenny was at Arsenal. I literally finished primary school. I finished high school, finished university, and Lenny still at Arsenal. Can you imagine that? So for me,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Here for two, but I never. His ability is the problem. Yes, he's a nice guy, nice mentality, but
and
then he sees a pass. There's a time I think against Brighton at the end of the season, the kind of party pass you're talking about, where Partey can pick up that pass to Lacazette, and then he sees that and he decides to pass the ball back to Ball. That cannot happen. Like he's very safe. He can only play for you as a backup or in the Carabao Cup. But if you play something different, But if he's in to do the job, just like Willock, you know what? I'd keep Bellrin until January. Let's see how he does until January.
Uh,
I'd keep him as a backup. I don't think his
all right.
wages are too high as well. I think that is very
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think Thomas Partey is untouchable. Honestly, let's speak. Let's speak fast. Partey is untouchable.
true.
Yeah. Granit Xhaka, the man that has been compared to Patrick Vieira on Twitter, and we have had big debates. Xhaka, Vieira, disgusting guys. It was disgusting. But Xhaka, do you feel at some I know many Arsenal fans. If you think about the problems he has caused us and the mistakes, you're like, let him go. Do you feel some inner man of you saying maybe he should stay? Do you feel something like that?
Last season, I said keep him as a backup. Yes, he can be. I don't think we've had anyone recently who can play as well as him in terms of covering the left back position. Tierney
Yeah.
bounce forward and Xhaka is there. He's very good at that. Some passes that Xhaka has, you're like, wow. It's like Xavi, it's like Alonso back in the day, like those kind of players. Pirlo, very, very good. Last season, I think he improved in terms of discipline, in terms of not picking up yellow cards all the time. Yes, he picked up that one red card, but in terms of fouling people every time, I think he improved last season. Also, in terms of mistakes, I think he improved last season. Let's have that many mistakes like he did with the previous season. But
Yeah.
again, I think he's been here for too long. What are we waiting for? Is he going to improve? Are we waiting for him to improve because he's been here for 5 years? Are we waiting for him to change something at Arsenal? Is he becoming better? I don't think so. I think he's stuck in the same position. Maybe not getting worse, but he's just Xhaka. Xhaka is just Xhaka. He's just like Kolasinac. He's not going to give you something out of this one. I don't think Xhaka will be part of the team that takes us from 8 to 4.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Keeping him as a backup, I think it's a waste of money. I think it's a waste of money. I think he's on high wages. He's been here for too long. He's been here for too long.
Yeah, he's been here for too long. Average, same as like Mohamed El Neni, some like Victor Bellerin. They've been here and they become too comfortable. That's it. They've
Yeah.
been here for so long and they become too comfortable. Guys, do
I'll tell
smash
you
like
something I like about him.
yeah,
He's fit for most of the game.
yeah.
I like
Durability.
players who can stay fit here.
Yeah, he's durable, really, really durable. Yeah, that is really true. Do smash the like button, people. Let's get into at least let's get in some more 10 likes. That really means a lot. Let's get up to 10 more likes at the moment. Thanks everybody. Right, Xhaka with Xhaka leaving. Emil Smith Rowe. We have a lot of interest from Aston Villa, and they have actually prepared to give us around 40 million. Emil Smith Rowe, guys, let me see your thoughts on Emil Smith Rowe. Sell him, keep him. Sell him, keep him. Smith Rowe, ESR, keep ESR, sell ESR. Would you even think about it? Just to begin with, would you think about it, ESR?
I tried thinking of it and I ended up in hospital last week. Smith Rowe,
Yeah.
no. Smith Rowe, last December, 6 months ago in December, I watched the Arsenal under 23s team, and Smith Rowe's playing for Arsenal under 23s in December. And he came to the first team and he saved our season. If it was not for Smith Rowe and Xhaka, we'd finish 16th. Smith Rowe, like he came in the first game, Chelsea, West Brom, Brighton. He actually made a difference at us, being that year with Xhaka. He's very, he doesn't complain as well. Xhaka being taken to international duty and him being left out. You kind of expect him to feel bad, but nothing like that. He supports Xhaka, he supports the other youngsters. Very good. I actually think he's very good as well on the left side. I know people prefer him as a number 10, but I thought against Benfica, against Olympiacos on the left side, he did very well. I think he did very well. Held his own. He has added a few goals recently. He started scoring goals, something we need from midfield. He's not afraid of shooting with the left foot, with the right foot. He's comfortable with both feet. He can cover 3 different positions. Maybe a couple of injury problems here and there. I'm hoping he becomes more fitter there. But I wouldn't consider it.
William says keep ESR 1 billion. 1 billion %. We are lucky to have him. Yeah,
we are lucky to have him. That's the thing. We are very lucky to have him. Yeah, he was at loan at Huddersfield the last season, so we didn't know he's going to have that much of an impact. So just because of that impact he had at Arsenal with Xhaka, I'd definitely keep them. And that's why I'd probably entertain even keeping Chambers because of that impact they had last season.
Emma says, don't touch Smith Rowe. He's more than 100 million. He's a golden boy, right? Humphrey says, keep ESR. We made a mistake with Sagnabry. We don't want to regret again. Charlie says, so that man, Granit Xhaka. Right, guys. Any midfielder we've not talked about that has that was in our squad? Really? Not really. Yeah, not really. Ceballos, the likes of Odegaard, those ones were Madrid players, and the needful has been done with Ceballos already. I was tired of the to the left man, to the left man. Really tired of him. Right, okay, ESR is untouchable. It's according to phrase, untouchable. Absolutely, I agree with you. Okay, let's go to the forwards, and I'll start with Willian. So Willian has apparently asked for more money as a professional footballer with a lot of experience and a big CV. He's played for Chelsea, Shakhtar, and did he come from Shakhtar or did he come from Anzi? Shakhtar. So with a big CV from Shakhtar to Chelsea to Arsenal, he's asking for around 300,000 per week. And Inter Miami are like, we can't pay that, sir. We can't pay that. We are sorry. Willian, this guy, would you terminate his contract? Because that's the question now. Would you terminate his contract and let it go for free?
Since you're talking about Willian, no, I don't like disrespecting players, but no, I'm very sad that it didn't work out for him at Arsenal. I am very sad. I thought he was going to have an impact in terms of experience, but it's not worked out totally. And I think that Belly was the last nail in the coffin. I think that Tammy was the last nail in the coffin. Like, you cannot come back to the team looking like that. It just looks like he knew he was going to go. I think he's actually surprised that he's still here. I think he's very surprised that he's still here. I think the fans are very surprised that he's still here. So, Willian, I think it's just better for everyone for him to leave as soon as possible. Not August, not at the end of the transfer. Now, just now. I don't see what you can offer. And then that money is on per week, like almost 200k now, man. You cannot be at Arsenal still until today. Those are the players now we're trying to get rid of fast.
Yeah.
Fast and very fast. Like, he should not be here. He should not be here at all. He's stealing and leaving at Arsenal. Thank you for the game against Fulham. Thank you for the 3 assists against Fulham in the opening day. Thank you for the free kick on the last day, but no, man, I think it's time. I'd really we bought him for free. So even if a team was to offer 2 million right now, I'd get rid of him.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem with Willian is the wages. He's earning a lot of wages at Arsenal, and many clubs are failing to match his wages. Especially if you look at his body shape, you can't take him in and give him ridiculous wages. Honestly, I mean, unless you're and the problem with Willian, he's not a brand. He's not a big brand like you would see. You'd say Lionel Messi. He's not that big brand. That you're taking him for purposes of as a brand, really.
I usually try to see. We don't just like judge players just from out of the blue. If a player plays well, let's say it. I remember against Leicester away when you won 3-1, Pep and Willian were brilliant. Willian was very good in that game. Benfica away when you saved ourselves in the last game against Benfica. I think he came in and did a good job, but that's it. I cannot mention 5 games. I can only mention like 2 out of a whole 38 games that he played.
Yeah. Absolutely. Another untouchable that I know people will tell me, but of course I'd love to get it from you guys. Bukayo Saka. 19 years of age, and he is already in the England squad in the Euros. What a man. Guys, what a man we've got on our hands. This is a talent that if Mikel Arteta messes with, he's got to go. Honestly, he messes with him, he's got to go. No questions about that. For me, it starts next season, 38 games. I don't care. It starts next season, 38 games. And I wouldn't keep him, but I would give him a 10-year contract, honestly. 10-year contract, just to be very, very sure. So, what are your thoughts on Saka, generally?
I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. My second favorite Arsenal player after Tini. I mean, in the 2020 season, the previous season before last, I think we saw him playing against Frankfurt in the Europa League away, and he scored. You're like, who is this kid? By the way, against Chelsea in Baku when he played the Europa League final 2 years ago, Xhaka was on the bench. He was the last player on the bench. He never came on that day. I was like, who is this Bukayo Saka? I think he was wearing number 77 or something. Like, get rid of this player, number 77 in our line. Who is this guy? Get rid of him. We are playing against Chelsea. If only we knew. This guy, he's just like Smith Rowe. He saved us last season. Remember me telling you we can't mention 5 games that Schneider has played well. We can't mention 5 games that Willian has played well. Oh, we can easily mention 20 games that we have Saka played very well. Very, very well.
I think literally the club was on the shoulders of Saka. I mean, that's the word.
He's very good, and as well at England, obviously we never wanted something like that to happen to him. I wanted Italy to beat England, but I didn't want them to beat them that way. I didn't want Saka to be missing the last.
Yeah.
That's really
I just wish Jorginho had scored that penalty.
Same. I wanted Jorginho to score that penalty so that Saka doesn't have to take a penalty. I was very surprised instead to take that penalty.
Yeah. I was surprised as well, by the way. But for me, it shows the courage. It shows the courage in the young lad, really. It shows the courage in the young lad. Right then, lad, Saka is untouchable. Let me know. Is Saka
can I just add? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll add something on it. Go ahead.
Okay, right. Let me know if you think Saka is untouchable for you, or if you think if you think he is touchable. Right. Anything you want to say before we go? Before we move to move forward.
So Saka is a 9 out of 10. I'll tell you why he's a 9 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10. He needs to improve on his finishing. He misses a lot of one-on-one chances. That is something he definitely needs to improve on. He needs to improve on his finishing, and he also needs to improve on the set pieces. I think his corners and the free kicks are a bit poor, so it always hits the first man. So he needs to improve on his finishing, and he needs to improve on his crosses, corner kicks, and free kicks. And if he does that, he's a 10 out of 10. But as of now, he's brilliant.
All right. So Saka, Gabi Martinelli. Look, and this doesn't really mean that I'm not a Saka man, but I'm really in love with this guy's football, Gabriel Martinelli. The tenacity, the way he presses, how direct he is, and his hunger for goal. I just love him. Honestly, I just love him. And I think injuries have actually affected him. He was a little bit ahead of Saka, if you're gonna be honest. He was a little bit ahead of Saka. Injuries have actually have actually affected him as a player. But I think he's bouncing back. The good thing I love about him is he keeps pushing, and whenever he's given the chance, he proves. He shows you that this is what I'm all about. And he's another player that is all about making things happen, just like Emile Smith Rowe. He's about making things happen, and that's what I love about them. So for me, Martinelli, no question about that. And the big question I will ask you, Glenn, is how many games should he get in the Premier League next season? For me, around 15 to 20 games. He must be that person that at least starts 10 games and comes on from the bench 7 games.
Now that Willian is going, hopefully now that maybe we might miss out on another player we'll not talk about, maybe else we'll talk about later. I think he has to start. I think at least 15 games. Maybe not all of them. I think Pepe and Saka right now are kind of ahead of him, so he can have an impact in a couple of games. But he has to start at least 15 games now. For someone like me who supported Arteta the whole of last season until the end, maybe until even now, I'm still not Arteta out 100%. I'm hoping that would be one of the things that would make me change my mind if Martinelli doesn't get a chance like he did last season. He has to get a couple of chances. You said that mentality he has the South American mentality.
Yeah.
Like Carlos Tevez back in the day. He will press, he will fight, doesn't care if whether he gets injured. He will fight, he will try and score, he'll go in for headers, any angle, doesn't care that he gets injured. I've seen him getting injured, I think, in the Carabao Cup against City, where he just went for the ball. All that. Very, very is a fighter, like Luis Suarez, those South American mentality. He has that. So Martinelli is a definite keep, and he has to play at least 15 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get the game time. Otherwise, we will regret if he doesn't get it. Before you go to the strikers, let's speak about Nicola Pepe, my man, Nicola Pepe. I think he finished well the season. I think he finished the season very well on a high note. And if he begins there, if he just gives me 20 games with that kind of performance, it's enough. 15 goals next season, 10 assists. Nicola Pepe, that's it. And many people have been accusing him of his price tag, including me. I don't want to say. I think it was even ridiculous, but I've learned to appreciate the player minus associating him with the price tag. So, without associating him with his price tag, keep or sell.
Oh, definitely keep. I wouldn't even say 15 goals, 10 assists, or whatever. I wouldn't mention the number of goals and assists. I'd just say 20 goal contributions. Even if he gets 7 goals and 13 assists, or he gets 14 goals and 6 assists, that's okay. I'd given up on Pepe. At the start of last season, when he got that red card against Leeds, I'd given up on him. I was actually comparing him to William. I was like, both of them are not impressing me. Tell them both. But last year, okay, that was last year, the first part of the season. But this year, from January, he played very well. Wolves away, Leicester away, that game against Brighton, that game against Sheffield United, West Ham at home as well. He played very well in those games, especially at the end of the season, the last 5-6 games. He was very good in almost every game in the Europa League as well. I remember when he beat Slavia Prague 4 goals away. That first goal he scored, very good. Against Slavia Prague at home, when he drew 1-1, he scored that 90th minute goal as well. Very, very good. I'm seeing improvement. I'm hoping to see some improvement again next season. I really want to see him playing in behind. I don't want to see him cutting in. Let me rephrase that again. I don't want to see him playing on the edge near the touchline. I don't want to see him dribbling. I want to see him almost at the goal, like cutting, shoot the ball. I want to see more shots on target. I want to see you taking on players. I want to see you getting in behind like Aubameyang does. Get in behind the striker, get a through pass, get a one-on-one against the goalkeeper. And you remember any one-on-one chance Pepe had against the goalkeeper? I don't remember any. And if you check his highlights for Lille, he got so many one-on-one chances against the goalkeeper because he was getting in behind. At Arsenal, he's over there on the touchline, almost talking to the managers. I don't see Pepe near the touchline. Like, his job is not to take throw-ins. I don't see him there. And then the dribbling, the left, right. Before you know it, the game is over and he's still dribbling in the corner flag.
Yeah.
But I want to see more shots on target. I want to see this Pepe is at the end of the season. He's improving.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think without any distractions, I don't know. Is he going for AFCON in January?
Yeah, he is.
Too bad. Too bad. Really, really too bad. It's gonna be, very bad. But honestly, I think it's gonna be his year. It should be his year. He's got to take the opportunity, at the moment. Right. Reece Nelson is wanted by Olympiacos, and Arsenal also struggling to keep him. Another player that is impressive when you watch him on the pitch, output, I think 0, but can improve. Do you think there is still more time and room for him to improve? I would keep him, give him a new contract, and loan him out. But his output for me is an issue.
I think Willock and Ketty have been given more chances than him.
Exactly.
The same number of chances than them. So
exactly.
Considering that in January we're going to lose Pepe, we're going to lose Aubameyang in terms of the wingers. I know we're also going to lose Partey. So many players are going to leave for the AFCON. I think I'll just keep it. And I don't know. Wait, since the AFCON is in January, I don't know if there's anything that would want him for a 4-month or 5-month loan, like Nketiah went to Leeds for like 4 or 5 months. I'd like to see Nelson going to a club for this 4 months, 5 months until January. And then if he's played well, we can bring him back in January to cover for us, especially in that January, the FA Cup period. In that period where we won't have our players, and let's see how it does. But If a team comes right now with 20 million, 25 million, I'd sell, definitely. I don't think we can get that much, so I just keep him. I don't think he's been given enough chances, so I'd keep him until the
Yeah.
end of the season.
Yeah. Right. Then we go to the forwards. Balogun signed a new contract. And it's going to be putting on shirt number 26. So I don't think we will have a chance to sell him. But would you probably give him out on loan? Maybe for more game time at a senior level?
No, keep him as a backup. Let's see how it does in the Carabao Cup. This time round, after many years, we're actually entering the Carabao Cup in the second round and not the third round. Our value is dropping even in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Soon you're going to be joining these competitions in the first round. I think we can see what he has to offer in those games. I know he won't play a lot because we don't have the Europa League this season, but he's never been given a chance. So let's see how it does. Definitely.
Edin Ketia, keep for sale.
Oh, that missed chance the other day was the last.
That is what I was gonna say. Did you see that man and that chance?
You cannot hit off target from that. And then what I mean from him and the difference between him and the likes of Nelson. This guy at the end of last season, after the games, after the postponement of the games and the return after the illness and virus and stuff.
Yeah.
He was playing ahead of Lacazette. Actually, he was playing every game ahead of Lacazette.
Yeah.
So Nketiah was our main striker. But again, how many games can you remember that Nketiah played very well? I don't think so. He cannot be missing such chances. Yes, he has the good part, like he covered the defender, he pressed the defender, won the ball, and then he couldn't even hit the target. Is he good in the air in terms of aerial balls? No. Is he good on his left foot? I don't know. Is he good on his right foot? I don't think so. Does he take free kicks? Does he take penalties? I don't know. Nketiah, the problem with Nketiah is, if I was a defender, if anyone in the chat is a defender, if I saw Aubameyang, I'd be like, oh, we need to watch out for this guy. You know, the facing behind, you never know, Vardy. Or if you're playing against someone like an Andy Carroll, I'd be like, you know what, this guy on the air, he's very good. We need to take care of him aerially and stuff. If Nketiah comes on, if Cossy are defended, Nketiah comes on, do you feel like, oh wow, Nketiah is coming on?
It's a relief.
Dangerous.
It's a relief.
To be honest, if I'm a defender and Nketiah comes on, I'd be like, whoo. Lacazette is off. Nketiah is on. This one is easy. This one is easy. You go forward. Three defenders, you go forward. I can do this by myself. I'm pretty sure the defenders look at him like that. So if the Brightons and the Southamptons are looking at him like that, I don't think so. So I think even 10 million, I'll get rid of him. I think it's been here.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you have Alex Lacazette, who had a very, very good campaign. I'm not saying so good because he scored almost the same number of goals as Luis Suarez, who won the title for ATM. But as compared to the ridiculous seasons he's been having at Arsenal, what a season. What a season. We needed someone to lift us up when Aubameyang was down. And I think Lacazette literally tried to do that. In my own sense, Lacazette deserves a good price tag. That's all. A good price tag. That is all. I would sell him. Honestly, I would sell him. Whether I bring in someone to replace him or not, he's been here for so long. We were excited when he came in. Nice time. Goodbye. I would sell him. Good price tag. I think his performance last season, gives him a good price tag, I think.
I saw a comment early in the chat 15 minutes ago saying there are many strikers out there. I don't think they are. I really don't think they are, because I don't think we have that many strikers out there to come and replace him. Right now, for a price we can afford, I don't think so. Laka, if it wasn't for Saka, Smith Rowe, I think, and Tierney, if those players weren't at Arsenal, Lacazette would have been the best player last season. I think it's also one of the reasons why he finished 8th and not 12th. I think he had a very good season last season. Yes, he missed a lot of one-on-one chances, a couple, like against Liverpool away. I still blame him for that game. We should have at least picked up a point against Liverpool away. Cannot be missing those chances. I know he has some off days, but I think in terms of energy and the mentality creates, and I think he actually enjoyed playing with Saka and Smith Rowe than he enjoyed playing with Aubameyang and Pepe. I think when Smith Rowe and Saka on the pitch with him, like against West Brom away, he looked very good when playing with Saka and Smith Rowe. So again, just like Leno in the goal, I don't think Lacazette is our biggest problem. I don't think it's our biggest problem. If you get a creative midfielder, I still think Lacazette can get 15 plus goals in a season. And he's very good from penalties as well. He never misses penalties.
Yeah.
Pepe missed one that we need someone to take penalties. We saw Pepe missing that.
Aubameyang, it's only one season that has been dreadful. Only one season that has been dreadful. The rest of the seasons in his career, like 5 or 6, top notch. 270 votes. Would you sell Aubameyang in the comment section? 49 have said yes. 51%, 52 have said no. 48 have said yes. That shows you how close it is. How close it is. People are very close to selling Aubameyang. My captain, I would keep him. I would give him a whole season. If he doesn't do well, then there's nothing to do for him. What do you think? Do you think he'll bounce back? Do you keep him? Do you sell him if the right offer comes in? He's getting high wages.
That is still a very easy answer for me. I've always said, and I'm sticking to that, don't sell Aubameyang and Lacazette. One more season, they are not our biggest problem. Last season, we struggled with creativity. Yes, Aubameyang was off form a bit of time, but Aubameyang can still score for you. Aubameyang can come next season and score 25 goals. I was actually very shocked when people say bench Aubameyang for some game. He can have a game like Leeds, 3 goals against Leeds. Against like Benfica, he was the reason why he won those games. From such games, he still has the goal threat. And defenders actually fear us when you have Aubameyang and Lacazette. If you ask rival fans which players you'll pick from Arsenal, they'll tell you Xhaka and Aubameyang. Maybe Lacazette. Yeah. Those are the players they're going to mention. They won't mention Pepe. They won't mention Holding. They won't mention David. Those are the players they're going to mention. If you check the top 10 goal scorers in the last 5 years or the last 7 years, you will see Lewandowski, you will see Messi, you will see Ronaldo, you will see Suarez. You might see Griezmann, you see Kane, Lukaku, Aubameyang is there, and Lacazette is there. There's a reason.
Yeah, top man. Top man. For me, behind Harry.
Goals, they always
For me, behind Harry Kane, in the Premier League, if you're thinking about strikers, then Aubameyang comes in.
I don't think there's a time I was like, oh no, we're going to struggle. We're really struggling for goals because Lacazette is in front. I don't think so. I've ever said that. We are struggling for creativity. If you get a creative midfielder, I still think Aubameyang and Lacazette can still get 15 plus goals each.
And one last one, Mikel Arteta. That is the last one. That's the last one. Guys, do smash a like on the video. Do smash a like on the video. Let's get them to 100 likes. We're very, very close to, we are around 90. So make sure you give us at least 5 more likes. And let's get them to 100 and we'll call it a show. Arteta, keep or sell?
In my head, last season, he was, like, personally, in terms of everyone who was saying out for me, it was, I was comfortable with him. Because I always say that there's more positives than negatives. The negatives are there, believe me, the negatives are there. And probably we're seeing more negatives every day. But again, I'm trying to focus on the positives. One of them being, like, against the big teams, we've improved against the big teams. The Chelsea, the Man U's, the Man Cities, the Liverpool, we've improved against those teams. And I think the style of play, the extra plays in those games have really helped us in terms of beating those teams. That is a positive. I know there's a negative, like in terms of it takes too long to make substitutions. He needs to work on that. He definitely needs to work on that. If something is not working, even if it's halftime, make the change. If Willian is not playing well, hopefully Willian won't be here. You sub him at halftime. You don't give him 90 minutes. If a player is not playing well, no matter your name, take him off. Bring in a player who can help us. He needs to improve in terms like that and things like that. But defensively, as I said last season, we had the 3rd best defensive record behind Man City and Chelsea. There's never a game where, apart from Liverpool at home where we lost 3-0 and Aston Villa where we lost 3-0, there's never a game where we were trashed.
Yeah,
and Wenger used to get trashed 5-1, 4-1, 1-1, 6-4, 6-7. Apart from those 3 goals against Villa and Liverpool, there's no game where we've watched Arsenal and we've been completely trashed like 4-1, 5-1, and Arteta. We've never been trashed. So that's a positive. The defense is okay. We had poor defenders in the team. So let's see which kind of defenders he brings. Until now, I'm not happy with the transfer market, but let's see this July how it ends. This if it doesn't work out next season by January, we have to move on.
Edu.
just the same. I have to see until the end of the transfer window. So far, I'm not happy. I wanted the deals to be done early because I don't want us to play against Brentford, Man City, and Chelsea and sign players when you already lost 3 games in the season. I don't want that. I want the deals to be done early. Let's see which kind of players they're going to bring in. Edo did bring in a couple of good players last season. Let's see how he does this season. Keep until January as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Glenn, for coming on. Thank you so much for blessing us. Top man. Always, I'm always on Glenn's channel. Almost on a weekly basis, almost on twice, once in every 2 days. So make sure you follow me there. Do subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, subscribe, hit the like button, people, and of course, getting your thoughts and votes. I'll speak to you very, very soon.